right, guys, so let's get started here. I am going to give you a whole ton of inspiration in DIYs that you can make very inexpensively for winter. I know that sometimes winter is a really hard season to decorate for because it's not spring yet, and Christmas, is just filled with all kinds of decor. So I'm just going to give you some very simple and inexpensive ideas on what you can do. For this first one here, I'm going to take a scrap piece of 1x4s. I cut them all to the same size. I honestly don't remember what size they were. I would guess it's about 14 inches or so. I think I'm going to take two other scrap pieces of 1x2s, and I am going to wood glue them as well as brad nail them to the back. We're going to create a little wooden sign here, just very simple attachment in the back. All right, so now I'm going to take some chalk paint. This is chalk paint by Rust-Oleum. It's in the linen white. It's my preferred chalk paint. Guys, if you're looking to start using chalk paint for DIYs or furniture or whatever you may want, I highly recommend Rust-Oleum. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just telling you. I just use it. I use it all the time. It's very inexpensive, and it actually does really well. And if you're looking for a farmhouse look, which is always my preferred style, and you're going to be distressing, I think chalk paint distresses so much better than regular latex paint. But it can certainly be done with latex paint as well. All right, so I'm just going to give this board 2 coats, and I'm going to give it just all over to make sure everything's nicely covered. All right, so now I'm going to take and I'm going to write the phrase "Let's get cozy," and I'm going to use these stencils. I got these stencils on Amazon. They come in a huge pack, and they have not only the alphabet in upper and lowercase, but also symbols, and it's just really cool. So I'm going to again stencil the phrase "Let's get cozy," which is very appropriate for winter, and I'm just going to use regular latex paint that you would find at the hardware store, those little sample size ones. That's just what I had on hand at the time, and so I'm just gonna start stenciling all the way down the board. All right, so now that everything is dry, I'm going to start distressing. I'm going to use my hand sander here, and I'm just going to use a 220 grit sandpaper. I'm going to sand all over. I want this sign to look like it's been around for a little bit and give it a farmhouse look. So I'm just going to distress, focusing more on the edges and some on the words, so that way it just kind of goes all together. Look how cute this looks. What an easy, and you don't even have to use this phrase. You can use any other phrase. There's so many cute winter phrases that you can use, and it just looks so stinking cute. Okay, so my name is Leonette, and I'm so glad you're here, and I love all things creative. I love to create, and my channel is absolutely dedicated to DIYs, home decor, thrift store, flips, uh, Target DIYs, you name it. I love farmhouse. That's what you can probably see the most, but I do create in other styles as well. So if you want to see more, check out my channel. It's filled with all kinds of inspiration for you. All right, guys, so for this next DIY, I'm going to create a very sturdy lantern. I know you've probably seen a ton of them around YouTube, Pinterest, you name it. I just wanted to create my own. I did this about a year back, and I still have it. It's so sturdy. I'm using scrap wood, guys. I cut these pieces to size. Again, I don't remember the size, but I want to say it's, again, about 14, 15 inches here and there. And I'm just going to sand them down. I'm not too worried about it being super smooth because I'm looking for a rustic farmhouse style lantern here. So I'm just going to sand it over everything and make sure that everything is nicely dusted afterwards. And then I'm going to start putting things together. I'm going to use my brad nailer, and I'm just going to start placing 4 of the longer pieces in each corner to create the sides, or not the sides, but the corner of the lantern. I also use wood glue just for a more sturdy bond. All right, so then I flipped it over and I just added the other bottom or top part. Right now they're mirroring each other. And I'm just going to use the same thing, wood glue and brad nails. And then I decided to add a smaller piece of a 1x4, but really this was more part of I think it was a drawer. I just had on hands a piece of it and I just cut it to fit right on top. I just wanted to have that lantern look. You know what I'm talking about. And so I actually decided later on to add another little piece right on top because I just wanted it to have a little bit more height as well as just detail, I guess. So now I'm just going to add some 1x2s in some of the edges, and that way it'll just kind of finish it off and just make it look a little bit more finished. So here's that little extra 1x4 that I did add eventually right on top. And then this is a knob from a drawer that I had on hand. I just wood glued it and let it fully dry. So this is the next day here. I'm just going to give everything 2 coats. In this case, I am using latex paint. This is just regular household paint, guys. Nothing fancy here. And I'm just going to give it everything inside and out 2 coats. Once it was dry, it was time to distress. Now, in this case, instead of sanding, I'm going to use some latex paint, and I'm just going to start focusing on the edges with a small brush. I wanted to distress, I could have distressed with a sander. However, the wood was light in the tone underneath, so it wouldn't have had that big of a distress look, in my opinion. So I just wanted to try something different, and I just started to distress using the paint. And again, I just focused all the edges and just very sporadic, nothing. I'm not looking for perfection, and just using my creativity. I added a few little evergreen picks and a few candles, and look how cute this looks, guys. I used scrap wood. It is so sturdy, and I just absolutely love the way this looks. It actually could be used in any season as long as you just change whatever is inside. But just for winter, you just have those candles, and it just looks so warm and cozy. I just loved it. Hey guys, I also want to tell you that I do have a second channel. This channel is dedicated to it's called Beauty on Purpose at Home, and it's about vlogs, clean with me, organization, that kind of stuff, decorate with me. So if you want to check it out, I do have the link in the description box. All right, so for this next DIY, I'm going to take this thrifted horn. I got it at the Goodwill about a year ago, and I just loved it. I loved that I had never seen one before. It was completely different, completely new. And obviously, it was used for Christmas decor at some point, but I removed everything from it, and I'm going to give it a more winter farmhouse look. So the first thing I wanted to do was paint it. Now, it is cold in this, it's when I'm doing this, it's cold, so I didn't want to take it outside and spray paint it. However, that would have been the best way to do this, is to go outside and spray paint it several times. However, I didn't have that at the time available due to the weather, so I just decided to just paint it with a brush, and I am using chalk paint, and I gave it, I believe it was 2.5 coats here and there. Just wanted it to have as good enough coverage as possible, but I did distress it in the end. So I am using here a very, very low grit, or high grit, I should say. Sandpaper is very fine, and because it's metal, I don't want to like scratch it or anything. But I'm just distressing some of that paint away so that it looks like it's been around for a while. Because it had that sleek metal texture, I just wanted to seal everything in. I didn't have to, but I did use a top coat. This is by Minwax, they're polyacrylic. And you could tell that I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just brushing it, and just making sure that the chalk paint is sealed in, and it's not going to peel or anything like that because of the finish of the metal. All right, so now I am going to create a little pom-pom here. I'm just using yarn from the Dollar Tree, I believe this is from, and I'm just gonna, you've seen, right, pom-poms made. I'm just gonna start rolling around on my fingers, depending on how big you want this pom-pom to be. I'm just looking for something small for a little bit more cozy winter feel to it, and I'm gonna of course cut it and then tie it in the center, and then just trim all the yarns to create a nice little round pom-pom. Right, so now I'm going to take some of that greenery that was already on it, and I'm going to add a couple things that I had on hand, some lamb's ear, which I love for winter decor, and some picks that I had with pine cones. And I'm just going to start adding it as I see fit, as I see that it looks um, appropriate, I guess, for the size of the horn. And I'm just going to start attaching it with some wire, and of course adding the little pom-pom that I think just finished it off so beautifully.
Take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night. When I close my eyes, I see trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. Later it comes later, dear, for many of us. I promise you that we learn through the wrongs, and even the rough can be sweet. Just close your eyes and know beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. It's gonna take some time to get there. I don't care. I'm in for the fight. It's gonna take some time, but I know that beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. Beauty lives in me.
So we're all done with this one, guys, and look how cute this horn looks. Again, it could be one of those things where you can change the decor and make it Christmassy again. But I just think it looks stunning for winter, and I just love it. I still have it, and I still have, not up, of course, but I still have it in my studio. And this year, I think I'm going to pull it back out and use it. I really love the way it turned out. Alright guys, so for this next DIY, I'm going to take this sign. It's a wooden sign that said "Love Life at the lake." It's beautiful as is, but I just wanted to have a different decor. This is going to be a little bit more farmhouse than wintry, but I wanted to include it because I just felt like it can go with the winter decor, and it just looked beautiful. So I'm just going to give it one pretty heavy coat of chalk paint here by Rust-Oleum in the linen white and let it dry. I am now going to take this stencil. It's so good to be home stencil, and I'm just going to stencil it again using the latex black paint and my stenciling brush, and I'm going to try to stencil it more towards the bottom right of the sign.
Hold my hand, could you hold my stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other now. Promise you won't leave my side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love, love.
And once it was dry, it's time to distress. I'm just going to hand distress it instead of using my electric sander. I wanted a little bit more of a softer distress for this one. Look at those planks. Then they just like pop after I painted it white. It almost, you couldn't even tell if they were there when with the previous design. And then after I painted it, they just kind of popped, and it just has those beautiful planked look. And this is it about this one, guys. I mean, it was so simple. It was a matter of painting and adding a stencil, and what a cute way to reuse a sign. It was only a couple of dollars at the Goodwill, and I think it just turned out absolutely beautiful. And I also still have this one here.
Tell me what you wanna do. I'll do anything. As long as I can be here with you, everything's alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other.
Alright, guys, for this next DIY, I'm going to take these thrifted, were they thrifted? I'm trying to think. I think maybe I bought them at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. But they're, I'm going to take a couple of them. But for this first one, I'm going to take it and I'm going to add some double-sided tape and just trim the bottom trim. And that's just so that it, when I start covering the vase with some yarn so that it holds the yarn in place and not move around because it is glass. So I just added it there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this vase have a very cozy, warm looking, sweater looking vase. That's a long title for a vase. But basically that's all I'm doing, guys. So simple. And it was actually very almost like therapeutic to do this. The first couple of rows was the hardest just because you want to keep them straight and that way everything else will be straight. But guys, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm never looking for perfection. If I was looking for perfection, I would never get things done. But yeah, I'm just going to roll it around, and this yarn, I believe I thrifted it, and it has the softest, most fussy texture I have felt. It is so thin, but yet it just has that nice texture. And yes, that was a yarn rolling away on my table. But again, guys, I'm just going to start rolling or wrapping, I should say, the vase with this yarn.
Promise I won't leave your side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love, love, love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love.
All right, so that's it. I am going to add some frosted evergreen picks to the vase. These I've had for so many years, guys. Seriously, I keep reusing them and reusing them, but I'm going to use them here on this little vase. And then I decided to hot glue a little snowflake to the front of the vase because I just felt like it was missing something, but I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So I just added that, and then that's it, guys. This one turned out super cute as well, and you can do this with any color vase, honestly. Alright guys, so for this next one, I'm going to use a vase as well. It is glass. I believe I did thrift this one. And I'm going to do a similar look to this one. I want them to be kind of like a set. But I'm going to wrap it around with this fabric. This fabric I found back in the day at Packatans when they were still open here. And I'm just measuring. And once I have the size that I need, I'm going to wrap it around. So I want this vase to have, so the previous one, I wanted to have like a little fussy sweater kind of look. This one, I want it to look like it's been wrapped in a blanket or wrapped in a shawl. I know it kind of sounds silly, but I just had this vision for them. And nothing fancy. After I have it wrapped, I'm just going to wrap it around with some jute twine and add a few decor little things here and there. And that's it. Another very simple one that you can do with any vase you have at home and any fabric that goes along with your decor style.
Cigarettes on the table, dirty plates on the stove. I don't know if you know where to start, but I know where you'd like to be. I'm afraid that I've lost you, 'cause you're hiding from me. Yeah, it shows that it's cost you a lot to be like the rest of us, to be like the rest of us. I've been waiting so long for the storm to arrive. I know that is in you, I know that is in you.
To keep things cohesive and matching, I decided to use some of that same yarn and just add just some texture to the top there. So I'm just going to wrap it around and just tie it very simply.
Virginia. Got your feet on the table and you're winking your toes.
And then I added these frosted grassy picks. I don't remember where I got them from, guys, but they are so wintry, so frosted, snowy like, and I think they turn out super cute inside this vase.
You got eyeballing down to an art that is working too well indeed. I need someone to talk to when you're hiding from me. Sold your all and just walk through the rain and be like the rest of us. Yeah, be like the rest of us. I've been waiting so long for the storm to arrive. I know that is in you, I know that is in you. Dancing away with the world in your eyes. Oh, goodbye Virginia, goodbye Virginia.
Alright, so for this next DIY, guys, I'm going to take this leftover piece of already joined pieces of wood. I had it for a different project, and I had to cut a piece off of it from the bottom, and they were already stained and joined, so I didn't want to get rid of them. I thought I can totally make something with this. So I wanted to create something completely different. So here I'm just going to freehand. I want to make a sign with kind of like a evergreen wintry scene look here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about as I continue to um, draw and paint. So the first thing is, again, freehand, kind of what I want to see. And then I'm going to take some of the Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the chiffon cream, and I'm going to start creating the pine trees.
I know that is in you. I know that is in you. Dancing away with the world in your eyes. Oh, goodbye, Virginia. Goodbye, Virginia. Goodbye, Virginia. I've been waiting so long for the storm to arrive. I know that is in you. I know that is in you. Dancing away with the world in your eyes. Oh, goodbye, Virginia. Goodbye, Virginia. Goodbye, Virginia.
All right, so I wanted this sign to have, or this, what is this, like a picture, a painting. I'm going to add some 3D textures to it. So I'm going to take these dry sticks, picks kind of thing that I thrifted, a whole bunch of them at the thrift store. And I'm just going to start adding some of them. And I'm also going to be adding different other picks to it. And then I'm going to wrap after some of that same yarn that I've been using. And I'm just going to wrap it around on the bottom. And that's going to hold everything together. And it's going to kind of make it look like it has a bed of snow at the bottom. And I'm just going to let you watch as I continue to create. But I just kind of wanted to tell you what I was doing.
I met him on a sunny day in late July, and everything turned upside down. I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I told him I want that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. And tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other. Didn't want to let you go. Cause we wanted different things, and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy. So tell me how to let go, cause you really seem to know how to carry on your own. Ever since I got a good look in his eyes, I just knew that he was special. He said he wanted to take it slow, but I couldn't help that I wanted to take it to the next level. Cause I wanted that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. And tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other. Didn't want to let you go. Cause we wanted different things, and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy. So tell me how to let go, cause you really seem to know how to carry on. Met him on a sunny day in late July, and everything turned upside down. I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I couldn't get him off my mind. Lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know.
So we're just about done with this one, guys, and I actually gifted this painting to my mom, and she placed it in the apartment complex that she lives in, and it's still there. Every time I walk in, I haven't walked in recently because of the precautions in place, but every time I would walk in, I would see it, and it would just made me smile. But I think it turned out super cute, and it's something so different than what I've created. Okay, so I do want to tell you that I have an Instagram account as well. I post on my page multiple times a day, different behind the scenes and little clips of the videos that I'll be posting. And I'd love to connect with you there. So I have the link in the description box. Check it out if you have an account. All right, guys, so for this next DIY, I'm going to take 2 of these pillows from the Dollar Tree. I thought the decor was okay. I wasn't a fan of all the little pom-pom tassels. But I just thought for $1, I just thought these pillows were a good size. So I'm going to grab 2 of them and I'm going to hot glue them together. Not that you have to do this. I just thought it would just keep them a little bit more, I don't know, together. And then I did remove the little tassels because I am going to recreate them into a larger pillow.
I got this feeling like it's starting now, starting now. I feel adventurous with you. And there is nothing that can hold us back, hold us back. We can do what we want to do. 'Cause we got all the
I'm going to take some more of that fabric from earlier and I am going to, that's what I'm going to wrap it with. So I'm just going to cut two sides, 2 pieces. I'm just kind of making it work because I just have a piece left over from the fabric. So I'm just going to piece them together. So here I am joining them together with hot glue. And then I'm going to start creating like a pillow cover with the fabric using hot glue.
for better or worse, we should stay together. So let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you.
So I am just going to keep cutting and fitting the pillows inside the cover. That way it is as snug as I want it to be, but not extremely tight, of course. So here I'm just, again, just trying to keep things even and hot gluing as I go.
Doesn't matter if we make mistakes, which I can promise that we'll do. Just hold my hand and we will be okay. Yeah, it's true. 'Cause we got all the time in the world. For better or worse, we should stay together. So let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you.
Once I have the pillows nicely fitted, I am just going to now fold the ends. That way they look finished, and I'm gonna hot glue them right and making a seam there tightly. And hot glue works really well with fabric, especially if it's something that's not going to have a lot of wear and tear. This is going to be more of a decorative pillow. So my daughter still has it, actually. She kept it, she asked for it, and I said, absolutely, you can keep it. So I'm going to create a whole ton of pom-poms. You know, the one that I created earlier. I'm going to create a whole bunch of them because I want to put them all around the pillow.
Let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you.
And so here in a little bit, you're going to see all the little pom-poms all around. It took me forever. All right, so now I'm going to take this stencil that I got somewhere. I think it was Packetans as well. And it's kind of like the kind where it's like sticky. So I'm just going to place it on the bottom right-hand side of the pillow. And I'm just going to stencil it using permanent marker. Nothing fancy. At the time, I didn't have any paint markers or anything. I just used what I had on hand. And I'm just going to trace it and fill it in. And that's it, guys. This little pillow turned out so cute. And is actually a lot more durable than what I thought it would ever be. And it's like I said, my daughter still has it in her room, and I just think it just turned out super cute.
Don't need someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away, I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think I said enough. You said your love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in your car. Let me see who you are, who you really are.
All right, guys, so for this next DIY coming up here, I went to the Dollar General and I started just looking. I wanted to create a little vignette of candles. I wanted to create something very cozy for my winter decor. So I found these pillar praying candles and I just thought that would be perfect. So I grabbed a couple of those for my decor and then just some other candles here and there. And then I also found these pieces of frosted berries. Again, a lot of the Christmas decor was still out, but in this case, I was looking for more wintry. So now that we're in the when I'm filming or when I'm doing this voiceover, it's the Christmas time here, and I wanted to encourage you to go and search throughout the Christmas decor right now, because you can find a lot of things that you can use that is going to go very well with winter if you're getting ready for the winter decor season. So here's what I got. And I'm just again going to create a little vignette of candles. So very simple DIYs anyone can make. I'm going to take a couple of the leaves from this pick that I believe I thrifted this pick somewhere in some decor and I kept it. And I am just going to make the simplest DIY you'll ever see. I'm going to place this leaf in front of this candle and I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times with jute twine, tie it, and that's it. The easiest thing ever anyone can make, guys.
Don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know if you're gonna leave me, then just do it.
All right, so then I'm going to take the next candle. This is more of a pillar candle. And I am going to create a similar look as the other one. Again, I want to create a vignette of candles, but I want them to have a very cute farmhouse kind of winter look to them. So I am going to have a moment here in just a little bit. I can't believe I did this, guys. You're going to see what I did. But anyways, I'm going to use some of that frosted berries that I found at the Dollar General, and I'm just going to use it to wrap it around this candle just like I did. But look what I'm doing. I am seriously hot gluing on top of candle. It was melting the candle. It was just turning into wax, guys. I was like, what am I doing? So anyways, I just decided to wrap it around like I did the other one, using this time some of that fuzzy, cozy yarn. And again, keep it very simple. This is such a simple DIY anyone can make.
Let's be honest for a second. Yeah, you're being over your head, babe. 'Cause there is no one other than me that can make you feel.
All right, guys, so this is like the simplest of all. I found this little garland of stringed snowflakes on little clothespins. So I'm going to use 2 of them, and I'm going to hot glue them to the front of this glass candle. And so simple, guys. Seriously, I mean, what a beautiful way to just reuse those little snowflakes that you get at Christmas, and sometimes you have so many left over. Just find one of these candles, hot glue a couple of them, and that's it. And then it was time to put all this little vignette together. I found a scrap piece of, what was it? I think it was like a tabletop that I flipped, and I put everything together, and it just looked so romantic, so cozy. I love, love, love the way this DIY turned out.
Just do it. Let's be honest for a second. Yeah, you're being over your head, babe. 'Cause there is no one other than me that can make you feel the way you feel when I hold you. I think I said enough. You said you love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in your car. Let me see who you are, who you really are. Yeah, don't need you here to say you're sorry. 'Cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Just do it. Don't need you here to say you're sorry. 'Cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know if you're gonna leave me, then just do it.
Welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. Today I am doing another trash to treasure with 2 items that I got at the thrift store.
And it had this
First is with this, I don't know what it is. It's
I don't know if
obviously
at one
has
time
like
it had a scent to
potpourri,
it,
but
I couldn't
it's like a
smell anything.
cage. So
So
I
I'm just
opened
gonna
it
use
up
a
and I
cage decor
removed
thing, and
the
I'm just gonna start dry
inside.
brushing
Again,
some
I
paint
think
on
it's
it.
potpourri, but I don't know.
Not too much paint on the paintbrush, because
And
otherwise it'll
what
start
I'm going to
dripping.
do is
So
I am
just
going to
starting
dry brush
it, and it
the
just turned out
outside,
perfect because
so
I
the
was
cage
looking for
part
a
of it,
farmhouse
and the
distressed
inside as
look,
well,
and I
with
just think
Rust-Oleum
just
chalk paint
brushing it
and
very
Malin white.
lightly just gave it that
And
look
I am
perfectly.
literally dry brushing, so there's hardly any paint on my brush except for this part here. Of course, I did add a little bit more paint, but because it's that wire cage like texture or design, I can't use a lot of paint because then it'll drip. So, and I do want some of the darker parts to show as well. So I did do the same exact thing on the inside. Once it was dry, I added a candle to the inside
of it, and
I've been trying to do a lot more candle decors for winter.
Of course, and then I'm gonna start adding
I'm not much of a candle person, but for some reason I'm really feeling the candles for
very carefully
this winter.
because again, I want to make sure that this is still going to close.
I added
and nothing's
this
gonna be stuck in between.
evergreen greenery to just a couple or three
here
on the
there,
bottom of it,
and
just
keep
to add
it
a little
very
bit
simple.
of
But what another very
a
simple,
touch or
very
some
easy
color to
DIY.
it.
I
And
know
then I'll be
you
all
can't
done.
always find these little
So
things,
simple.
but if you find something that may not
There
be
you
your
have it.
style, just
How
always think
cute and
creatively.
simple.
Like, okay,
I
I don't
love
like the
this.
style. I don't need that
It's going to be
potpourri.
beautiful. I'm
But think
thinking about
about
putting
the
it on my
cage, think
console
about where it
table
was,
when
and think
I
about
put up
other
my
things
winter
that you may see at
decor,
the thrift store that
and
you
I
can
think it's just
create
going to look
and make into
beautiful.
beautiful decor.
Take you there. I would give it all away to do it all again.
Alright, so for my next project, I am
Alright,
going
so for
to
this next
using
DIY, I'm going to
this
take
Lazy
this
Susan,
little Lazy
and I got this at the
Susan
thrift
tray,
store.
and I
want to say it was a few weeks ago,
and I am going
and
to
I
clean it very
quickly
well,
grabbed
and
it.
then, of
I
course,
thought
I'm
it
gonna
was
paint
in
it
such a
white.
great shape.
Now,
It's
white is my
heavy duty,
preferred
it's
color,
solid wood,
but
and it was perfect. It
by
was in
all
great
means,
working
you know, and
condition.
this is just for
So of course I'm
inspiration.
going
If
to
you like
paint
other
it white
colors,
with
just
my
paint it
Rust-Oleum
whatever
chalk
color.
paint,
Just again,
and
if you
I'll
see
give it
something
2
at the thrift
coats.
store, think about what you can do to it to make it your own. So in this case, I'm going to use more of that chalk paint from Rust-Oleum.
Now, when
and
I started painting it,
white.
I should
guys,
have
I do want to
painted
tell you
it
about my Amazon store.
upside
I
down
do have an
first
Amazon
because I
store,
did
which
want
is
to
linked
paint
down below.
the edges
lot of my
of the
favorite
bottom portion,
supplies,
and I
paints,
didn't, so it became a little difficult on the first coat. But for my second coat, I learned, and I started from the bottom, and then I moved my way to the top.
And I do make a small commission from purchases, but I do want to tell you that it is down there if you want to take a look from it. All right, so I'm going to give it 2 coats and then let it fully dry.
Never thought I'd feel so alive. Looking in your eyes. I just wanna love you till the day I die. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare. And I wanna take you there. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love.
Now that the paint is fully dry, I am going to add a stencil to the middle.
I am
Now
gonna
this
take
is
this
a clock
It's a
stencil that I
stencil with
got
clock,
several
but I'm
months
only
ago,
gonna use the middle
almost a
portion,
year
not the
now,
numbers.
but I'm only going to be
And I
using
am
the
going to
middle
use,
portion of it, not the
some-
numbers.
which
And
is-
I
I
am
think this
using
is
a
folk art,
chalk paint in the
that
gray
I have
tone
had for a while,
and a
it's a very
stencil brush
light
that I got
gray.
on Amazon.
And I'm going
I'll
to
try
just
to
start
link everything
stenciling it
down
right on the
below
center
for
of
you.
the tray.
I do have, and I always have linked below my favorite items from Amazon. So if you're interested in looking at brushes or paint that I use, or my favorite tools, they are going to be linked down below. And also I want to remind you that if you have not subscribed to my channel, to do so, and also to follow me
And then
on
once the
Facebook and
stencil was
Instagram.
dry
I
and
have a
everything
new
is dry, I'm
Instagram
going to
account
distress it.
for
This
my
tray had a
channel,
beautiful
so
dark
go
brown
down below
tone
and check it
underneath,
out.
so distressing it would have
Alright,
been
so now
perfect.
that everything is
So
dried
I'm just
up,
gonna
I
focus
am
on
going
the
to
edges
distress it
just
a
to
bit.
pull out
I am
and
using
give
a
it a little
60
bit more
grit sandpaper,
dimension
which is a
and
pretty
look.
rough one,
And yes, I should have
or
painted
very
the
coarse
bottom. I don't know what I was
for the
thinking,
edges.
guys.
Then I moved
when
on
I
to a
saw this, I was
220
like,
grit
what?
to
I didn't
smooth
paint the
everything
bottom.
out,
What's wrong with
and
you? So
including
if I were
all
to
the
redo
surfaces.
this again, I would definitely have painted the bottom. So I'm going to distress the stencil just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of texture and look for it. But look how beautiful
There you
this
have it.
looks, guys.
How
oh my god, I love
adorable
these combination
is this?
of
I cannot wait.
distressed
I might
farmhouse
use this
white,
as my
you know,
table
with the
centerpiece.
candles and the green. It just looks
You can
so
put
crisp,
condiments on
so
here. You
bright.
can put any
love
flowers.
it, love
I mean,
it.
you can put anything on it. I just prefer the greenery and the white decor, but really you can use it for anything. So this is it for today. It was short and sweet, but I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun giving these two items a new look, and I cannot wait to get started to decorate for winter, and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Alright, so for this next DIY, I'm going to take this large wooden container. I know there's a name for it, but I can't think of it for the life of me. And I thrifted it. I found it at the thrift store, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It was imperfect, but you know, I love imperfect things. And I just thought to myself, I need to snatch this. I think it was like $5, but this thing is heavy and it is large. So the first thing I did, I just started stapling. And yes, I should have used brad nails, but when I did this, I didn't have my brad nailer at the time, so I'm just gonna staple it here. But what I did was I stapled it on the back, so the part that you're not gonna see, just so that it would stay up for me. And then the front, I just kind of left it as is. So look how beautiful it is. So I didn't want to paint it or anything. I just had great texture, great look to it. It looks like it's been around forever. But I wanted to freehand a couple of evergreen trees here, just like I did in my previous DIY. Something very similar, but this is going to be something that you can use, that I still have it, that I could use to put like logs of wood or blankets. This year I used it in my decor, and it has a little red blanket and some lights in it. It just looks so cute. So it's up for my Christmas decor, but it's definitely something that I can keep throughout my winter decor. And I'm just going to freehand using some chalk paint and a small brush these trees here, and I'm going to make 3 of them.
Tonight we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Before you turn away, I just want you to know.
And then I decided to just go to my firewood stash and look for these rounder kind of logs, and I'm going to just start dry brushing some paint, and I'm kind of keeping a little side to side motion to kind of keep that log round look to it. And I do have a little helper there, you can see her helping me. So I'm just going to again just give these logs like a little frosted look, like they've been outside and they frosted in the winter temperatures.
I didn't throw your stuff away before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find. I'm standing right here. I know that.
Alright, so we're just about done, guys, and look how beautiful this turned out. Oh my gosh, like I said, I still have it. I use it till this day, and I just love how sturdy and how antique this looks.
I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be?
For this next DIY, guys, it's such a cute gift idea, or just in general something that you can make for your home. I'm going to take these wood slices that were sent to me by Artisa, and I'm going to fill in the little hole with some wood filler and then let it dry. That way it won't have that. It's supposed to be like something, wood slices that you can use for like ornaments or a little garland, but you can certainly use them for whatever you may have creativity to use them for. So again, nothing fancy, just filling in the holes with some wood filler and then letting them dry. I am now going to use some, what was this? Metallic white, I think it was, from Artisa. And I'm just going to start painting them right on top, but making sure that I don't paint over the bark. I want to be able to see that still.
We could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to take these stencils. It's like a little flower stencil and some permanent marker. And I'm just going to start stenciling and tracing right on top of them in different areas and different spots of each one. And I'm going to create some coasters. At the time, I created these to gift to my daughter's teacher, but you can certainly make these for your own. It has a very wintry, frosted, metallic look to them. And that's why I thought I would include them because it was so easy to make and so fun.
Maybe I'm just afraid of being alone. Well, I don't care, 'cause right now I feel the love that we said we would burn. Oh, I know that you feel it too. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me now till the morning light?
All right, guys, so now I'm going to take this grapevine wreath that I thrifted, and I am going to make a very simple wreath here. I am going to create I'm going to focus on just one side. You can see that one is thicker than the other side. So I'm going to start placing them on the kind of like towards the bottom of the thicker side. And I'm just going to start placing these frosted evergreens that I used earlier, and I'm just going to start placing them in. I'm not even going to hot glue if I don't need to. Just push them in, and I'm going to use some more of those frosted berries that I got at the Dollar General, and I'm going to hot glue these because they don't have as long of a oh my god, stem, I guess. But try to use as little as hot glue as possible if you can get away with it, because you can reuse your wreaths. I'm going to take some more of those wood slices. I think they turn out they have that very natural, very earthy tones to them. I just love it. And I added a little cotton stem there. Again, just adding what I have on hand and try to keep it very earthy, very wintry look. And I just think this wreath turned out so beautiful. I love it. I don't have the decorated wreath still, but I still have the wreath form. And I think I'm going to recreate another one for this year because I just love the way this looks. And it could be in your winter decor, maybe on your winter door, over the fireplace, wherever you want it to be. And it would just look great for the entire winter season.
Or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me now till the morning? Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me?
All right, guys, so this is it for this one. I know there's a lot of content, and winter is not a huge decoration kind of season, but what a great way to use what you have on hand, thrifted items, and a little bit of creativity to create some beautiful winter decor. If you're visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you consider subscribing and joining our YouTube family. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I so appreciate your time. Here's a lot more, and a link with a lot more farmhouse inspiration for you. Check it out if you'd like. Have a great day, guys. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know